The Seiko Samurai SRPL13, also known as Shogurai. Shogurai. It's the best Seiko release in 2024.
Well, at least according to me, and later on I will tell you why. I'm Hans and you're not. Welcome to Hans Watches. I'm a watch enthusiast.
You could of course argue there is literally nothing new to see here. Move along. It's just a mashup of all Seikos. The price is over the top and far away from what Seiko used to be offering, and cry me a river. But for me, this is a fresh take from Seiko, because when I first saw it, I was immediately bedazzled. I was waiting for my nearby authorized Seiko dealers to get this watch in their stores so I could try it on. Well, that never happened, so I just had to pull the trigger and order it untried, untested, and I'm glad to say it did not disappoint me at all. Being a Seiko Samurai fanboy from my earlier watch collecting days, this seemed like the perfect Seiko. It has a unique, edgy and distinctive design, but at the same time it's refined and a tad smaller than the previous generations of Samurais.
Now, before you all go, but it doesn't have a sapphire crystal. It's only got the 4R35 movement. The crown is not fine. Let me stop you right there. The 4R35 is a great movement, period. Well, not period.
My experience with this movement has been great, with one exception, and that was an old Seiko Monster deal that went a bit sour. But eventually I was able to regulate it myself, and who knows what that old monster had been going through all those years. It sure was beaten up. Apart from that one, all watches have been running well within specs with this movement, and some even close to or better than COSC. And this one is no exception, as it's losing only 2 or 3 seconds daily when I wear it, and that is quite amazing. Sure, it's a low-cost workhorse movement, but unlike many of the more attractive and expensive modern Seiko movements, my experience is they run very accurate for the price, and more accurate, for instance, the 8 series from Miyota, or even the 9 premium Miyota movements. Now, this isn't really a super big thing, after all, but I just want to mention it to set the record straight, as it seems to be a bit of negative sentiment towards this movement in watches above $300, which I think is a bit ridiculous. There's so much more that goes into a watch than just the movement. Now, don't get me wrong, the movement matters a great deal, but it's not the be-all and end-all of a watch at this price point. Speaking of price, the MSRP for this is $575 US. I got mine for $525 US, and you can always argue there are better deals to be made when looking at the pure specs and value for money, especially in the micro-brand segment. But when factoring VAT, that is rarely the case anymore, at least in my country. And unlike most micro brands, Seiko is always easy and fast to sell should you choose to do so. Now back to the Samurai 2024 models. The nickname Shogurai, well, as the new Samurai has some design cues from the Seiko Shogun, as well as the second generation Monster, this mashup name is quite appropriate, and what it borrows from those is especially the indices. After all, it's more of something new, something exciting, rather than just another Samurai.
Now make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out my next video about affordable watches. It's coming out pretty soon. Thank you, much appreciated.
Now let's have a look at the details and specifications. The diameter is 41.7 millimeters, it's 12.3 millimeters thick, the lug-to-lug is 49.5. The crystal is Hardlex, and the lume is Lume Bright. That's Seiko's own proprietary lume. The clasp is a threefold clasp with secure lock, push button release and dive extender. The lug width is 20 millimeters. It has a magnetic resistance. The weight is 170 grams if you don't remove any links. The water resistance is 200 meters. This is a proper ISO certified diver's watch. The features are a unidirectional rotating bezel, screw-down crown, screw-down caseback and a date. This movement has a power reserve of 41 hours and it has 23 jewels. So the specs are what we are used to from a Seiko Samurai before the King Samurai upgrades. I'm sure Seiko has their reasons, and I bet there will be a new King Samurai in a few years' time, featuring sapphire crystal, a 6R35 movement, and all the good stuff at twice the price or so. So have that in mind when ranting about the price, will ya? This one is priced at the same level as the King Samurai series here in Norway, so it's not winning the best value for money price of 2024.
Yes, I would also like to see this watch at the old SKX price point around $150, but that's clearly not happening. This is what we get in 2024, and what we can expect in the years to come is prices increasing even more, of course. Inflation.
There were many other exciting Seiko releases in 2024, and especially in the Speed Timer series. But I always found them a little pricey for a Seiko quartz, and their designs didn't really hit me. Now, why on earth do I dare to say it's the best Seiko release in 2024? It's simple.
Because it's the only new release from Seiko I bought in 2024, so I must be right? It's the only one that made me spend my hard-earned money on a brand new Seiko,
rather than any other watches on my bucket list, like some of the awesome Citizens. And it's the only watch I bought in the last quarter of 2024, as I was enjoying my Citizen Pro Master so much. And it's the design that makes the new Samurai all that attractive. The reshaped Samurai case design featuring brushed stainless steel and a dial design. The sword-shaped hands, the indices, the lume, the bezel. It's all done just right, and the execution is solid too. Well, we're not talking grand Seiko levels of finishing here, but I see no infamous Seiko quality control issues here. Even the date window at 4:30 looks good, even though the date could be a little bit bigger for my old eyes. From pure aesthetics, I wanted the all-black SRPL13 with the Fortina lume, but the silicone strap is such a dust magnet. I know it would sooner or later become an issue for me. Plus, a bracelet on a watch is essential after all, especially in the winter time, even though I prefer a NATO in the summer. And after wearing it for a couple of weeks, I can say it sure as hell does not disappoint. It wears nice and true to its specifications. It's rather slim and feels comfortably on the wrist, thanks to the shorter and slimmer tapering lugs. The size is perfect for my 22 cm wrist. Now that's 8 inches or so for you in inch country, so I have a quite large wrist. It has been significantly downsized from the rather bulky predecessor that was 43.8 and 14 mm height with a 22 mm lug width. The dial and hands are super legible, and the lume is awesome, even though it fades after a few minutes, as we can see when I speed it up here. It lasts all night. The bezel action is tight, and there is no backplay, and it sticks to where it should and does not take a tour on its own. The crown is easy to operate and protected by the crown guards. There is no gap between the crown guards and the crown, unlike the previous generation, and it does not dig into my wrist. The bracelet is updated, and I really like the look of it. It pulls no hairs and feels very sturdy and appropriate for a tool watch like this. The pressed clasp has 4 micro adjustments and a diver extension clasp as well. And for me, it was easy to get a good fit. And when it's easy for me, it will be easier for most other people too. The case has drilled holes for easy strap exchange. The screwed case back is usual for Seiko ISO-rated divers. The Great Wave of Kanagawa, embossed in addition to the core specifications. The first Samurai was released in 2004, so with the latest Samurai collection released 20 years after, it represents yet another significant milestone in Seiko's evolution. And I think it deserves to captivate loyal Seiko fanboys and girls, as well as new watch enthusiasts. The question is more, will it succeed, than is it a great watch? What do you think? Let me hear from you in the comments. Now you know what I feel. So make up your own minds and do let me know. Thank you. Now make sure to catch this video. It's pretty good too. Thanks for watching. Take care.